Hello class, I'm going to show you how to put your radial design together. First thing you're going to have to do is take a picture of your radial design, which I showed in the earlier video, and then send it to your email, and then you can download it. So here I'm downloading it, and it went into my downloads, okay? Then I'm going to open up Photoshop, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go File, Open. I'm going to go to my downloads, okay? And then it should be there. Now, if you just see words here, you can also change the top here and you'll be able to see a picture of it. Like there we go. Okay, I'm going to open it up. So there it is in Photoshop. Now, what I'm going to do, first thing I'm going to do is go to this tool, the cropping device, and I'm going to crop this picture way down. It doesn't need to be so big. So I'm going to crop it down, and I'm going to bring in this edge right so that just the paper, and this edge right so it's just the paper right there. Okay? Then I'm going to hit enter, and it's going to be cropped. Okay? Now, if you have an image that has, let's say, some of the lines didn't work out very well. So here's my, if I go down to my magnifying glass, I can zoom in here, and I can see that it looks like there might be a gap here. Now, how do I tell if there's a gap? I'm going to take my paint bucket here, okay? And I go up to Window, and I open up Colors, and over here it shows colors. So I can scroll anywhere on this bar here and pick out a color that I like. So suppose I wanted to color green, okay? Then I would go to my paint bucket. Now the paint bucket could be hid behind the gradient tool, but right now my paint bucket is open. And I'm gonna click here, and I can see that that filled in really nice. I'm gonna click here, and I can see that didn't fill in so well. So that means there's probably a leak somewhere, okay? Now if you do Control Z, you can undo what you've just done. So when I inspect this closer, I think there's a leak right there. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna zoom in and repair the leak, okay? Now, I'm gonna take my eyedropper, which is right here, and I'm gonna duplicate this color black. If I don't duplicate it, I'd have this still of the color green. Now look at the eyedropper picks out colors. If I do this, it turns to gray. If I do this, it turns to green. Do this, turns to black. So that's how I duplicate colors. Now I need to repair that little gap right there. So I'm gonna go to the paintbrush over here, and actually I'm gonna switch it to a pencil, and I'm gonna repair it. But now look at, that is way too big of a pencil. So I'm gonna go up here where the pencil size is, and I'm gonna change the size of the pencil to a smaller pencil. Still a little big. Right now it's at 15. You can also change it this way. I'm just gonna put a number in here. I'm gonna guess and say 12. That's pretty good. And now I'm gonna repair that. Now I'm gonna go to my magnifying glass, click on my screen, but I'm still going in. So if I right click when I'm in magnifying glass, I can go fit on screen. And there it is, okay? Now I'm gonna try my eyedropper again, and I'm gonna pick out this green color, and I'm gonna say, okay, let's see if it fills in again. So I'm gonna check here. Boom, it filled in really nice. Let's try this thing. Oh, didn't fill in. That means there's a leak. So let's zoom in again, and let's fill this in, okay? So what I'm gonna do is eyedrop the color black, switch to my pencil, and repair it, okay? Now, I'm gonna zoom out, and if you can zoom out two ways. If I right click and go fit on screen, or you can also hold the Alt key down and that'll zoom me out as well. So I'm gonna zoom in, and I don't want this to be green, I want it to be a different color. I'm gonna go with maybe a blue. So I'm gonna go up here with a blue, and I like that blue, it looks pretty good. And I'm gonna take my paint bucket and click blue there, okay? Now, this was my logo that's gonna go in the middle later. So what I'm gonna do now is, I'm gonna cut this out. I don't want it to be there. I'm gonna cut it out and save it. So I'm gonna take my lasso tool, which is right up here, and you can use your pen for this. I don't have my pen out right now, but I'm gonna use my mouse to lasso this. Oops, I accidentally lassoed part I didn't. I'm gonna do Control Z and undo that. Let's try lassoing it again. I'm gonna lasso my logo because I'm gonna cut it out, okay? Then I'm gonna go Edit, Cut, Edit. I'm gonna go File, New, and I'm gonna open a new file and go Create, and I'm gonna go Edit, paste. Now I'm going to save that. Now you might say, well, what's all the gray and the white? Well, what I could do here is I could paint that white. So I'm going to take my eyedropper, and I chose white. Then I'm going to take my bucket, and I'm going to click in this gray area, and I just painted it white. Up here, I still got this little area that was part of my paper. I'll take my pencil and just draw over that with white to get rid of it. And my logo is now good. Now, you don't realize it, but right now, if I go to Window and I go to Layers, there's actually 2 sheets of paper here. I'm going to glue this down on the bottom sheet of paper. So I'm going to go Layer, Merge Down. Or you can go Flatten Image and do the same thing. So I'm going to save that. I'm going to go File, Save As. I'm going to save it on my computer. I'm going to go to, let's see, I'll go to Pictures. And I already have a folder I made. It says Mr. Graz. And I'm going to call this Center Logo. Okay? So I'm going to go Save. Now, I'm going to save that for later. I'm going to go back to the other picture that I had. And I'm going to paint this background white. So I'm going to take my bucket and paint this white and that white and that white, that white, and pretty good. And even this part up here, white. Matter of fact, I might take a pencil, a really big pencil. I'll make it huge. And I'm going to make this white. So basically, it could be way bigger than that. Let's make my pencil even bigger. There we go. It's giant. So I'm going to get rid of that. And I'm going to get rid of this little crease here. And obviously, to get rid of this crease, I'd have to zoom in with a smaller pencil. So I'll make my pencil smaller. And I'm going to get rid of that little line there. Oop, I got rid of something I didn't want to. Let's try that again. Okay. So I'm ready to go. Okay. Now I'm going to go File, Save. And this is my, I'm going to say, right now it doesn't have a name. So I'm going to cancel that. I'm going to go File, Save As. I'm going to go to Save on my computer. I'm going to go into my pictures. I have that folder called Mr. Graz. And I'm going to call that Design 1. I'll just call it quarter. Okay? So I've just prepared my quarter design to be duplicated and connected to the rest of my design. I'm going to take a break now, and we're going to come back, and that will be part 5, how to connect that design 360 degrees. Okay?